Hey guys, TMG Podcast, episode 208. This is Carlos, and with me is Matt.
Hello.
And Mickey is with me too.
Hola.
And we're going to be talking about video games as usual. We'll be talking about what we played within the week or last week, and as well, we're going to be a little, thinking about the games, the upcoming games coming in Ubisoft, because Ubisoft Forward, is that what it's called? Yeah, Ubisoft Forward is happening this weekend, July 12th, the digital conference, and yeah, we're gonna be, we'll be discussing that and what to expect, yada yada yada. But games you've played, Matt, what were you been playing around with? Aside from, actually, you're also playing, you're playing Ghost of Tsushima actually.
Yep. Reviewing Ghost of Tsushima. I would say I'm about I think 33% through. There's no statistics indicator that tells me how much time I put into the game, or how much percent I've completed, or whatever. But I'm done with Act 1, so, and I've done a lot of side stuff. So I think from here on forward, so we can make it to the embargo, I'm going to just go story stuff exclusively from now on, because boy, have I unlocked a lot of stuff. But yeah, I can't say much more about the game.
Can't say more, yeah, I get it. But aside from that, you were, I think, playing Hitman 2?
Yes, I am playing Hitman 2. Better known as Kill the Rich. Well, I like to call it Kill the Rich.
Just for you. Yeah.
I'll get into that in a little bit. But Hitman 2, some of my friends just bought it, and I was like, hoo-hoo, now I get to talk about it with other people, and I just reinstalled that sucker. I finished about 50% of it before, and the way Hitman 2 works is it's everybody knows the Hitman franchise. It's been going on for 20 years. The guy who voices, the titular Hitman Agent 47 has been voicing that character for just as long. It's kind of amazing.
That's the same guy over and over ever since they started this? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, same voice actor throughout all of it. IO Interactive has been the developer of that game since 1999, I believe, 1998's Hitman Codename 47, followed by Silent Assassin and a whole slew of other games. So I would say that Hitman 2 is like one of the funniest, most interesting, and most compelling sandbox games out there. By sandbox, I don't mean that it's like a massive open world game for the likes of Grand Theft Auto, but rather the game presents you with what appears to be a very finite amount of content. Hitman 1, released in 2016, came with like 5 or 6 missions only, with some additional content, and Hitman 2, released in 2018, also was like 6 missions total, and so that feels like by traditional metrics, you'll be like, oh, that's so little stuff to do. But the appeal of the way the new Hitman games are structured is that you're supposed to keep replaying the missions over and over. And as you play each mission, you get to unlock more options for stealth. In those missions, you get to unlock new places to drop, to secretly smuggle in weapons, new costumes, and new starting locations, and new ways to kill. So it's about like grinding those levels and getting mastery and finding new ways to see how the game world interacts.
Have you seen like those that are like they completely mastered, like get the highest score in Hitman 2?
Yeah.
That they can like literally take a headshot from afar with just a flick of the button, because they know the angle completely. And I don't know how much time they spent on that, but it's crazy that Hitman 2's like process as you play the freaking game over and over again on the same stage.
Yeah. But I think
for a different outcome.
The thing that's most compelling about the Hitman 2 games isn't just about how good you are as a sniper or a silent killer, but how creative you are. And that's what it is, what the appeal of the game is, creative kills. You can, for example, maybe find out what a guy's favorite drink is and poison it, or maybe you'll fake a computer error that will force the person to go back to the room, and you'll find them alone and you can like garrote them. or sometimes
it's not creative per se. It's just like an objective, an added objective, an added option.
that's true. There are thank you for calling me out on that. Most of those are what they call mission stories, which is basically predetermined paths, or rather, they're like narrative chunks of the game that will happen that you can trigger that will allow you to set up ways of getting the target alone or killing them. But even then, the systems in Hitman are so dynamic and robust that it can still create some unorthodox situations. For example, in one situation, I killed a rock star by pushing him over the ledge, and when I did that, it turns out I had a perfect position at the right time, at the right hour, to snipe the other target with a pistol. But had I done it 5 seconds earlier or 5 seconds later, that window of opportunity would not have been there.
Yeah.
Or in other cases, I will see them on a balcony, and I will, let's say, drop a rubber duck, an explosive rubber ducky, in their bathroom, and wait for them to go take a shower and like detonate that thing.
And that's somewhat being creative, but no, I kind of get. 'Cause I remember playing like Hitman 2. Was it? Yeah, or was it 1? One, but anyway, actually 1 and 2 is actually very similar. They're actually I don't see quite the difference between 1 and 2.
No, they're the same. They're fundamentally the same game. Honestly, like if you want to get cut and dried about it, the way if you're new to this franchise or if you're new to the games, don't bother picking up Hitman 1, which isn't a slight on that. It's that when you buy Hitman 2, there's an option to buy Hitman 1, a sort of like additional missions that are packaged into the game, remastered and, well, not remastered, it's only a 2-year-old game, but sort of like updated with some of the quality of life and, design and adjustments, not improvements, but adjustments from Hitman 2. So it's kind of like, just, it's like, I would say it's like a television show, not just because it's episodic, but rather when in the year of our Lord 2020, you can just buy the whole series as 2 seasons rather than having to buy them separately.
Yeah, I want to check Hitman 2. Is it like cheating the same as the other like episodic game? Because like how it's not fucking like Walking Dead's like it's 38 pesos, but they're just really pricing just the fucking 1 episode only.
Well, Hitman 2 was not really, even though Hitman 2 does have like the same structure of missions as episodes, it was not sold episodically. In fact, it was released as a full $60 product at launch. IO Interactive was not interested in trying to do that episodic format. It was actually Square Enix, the publisher of the previous Hitman game,
I was trying to do that. Okay.
Yeah, that imposed that structure on the game. Square Enix, like I don't want to get into it too much, but Square Enix at the time had a history of sort of like they wouldn't fiddle with your game, but they would try to find little conceits to impose their own business strategy or decisions in the game. So, like Hitman 1 had missions, and they were like, but what if those missions were sold separately, like season episodes? And IOI Interactive was just like, okay, fine, whatever, right? And
yeah, I see it already. But
yeah, and
I think they got a hold of it because I can't buy it separately. I have to buy the bundle, which makes it more confusing actually.
And Square Enix.
Yeah, I cannot buy it separately.
Square Enix did this other thing also to Eidos Montreal. They did Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Now, Deus Ex Mankind Divided was hit with a minor amount of controversy because they had microtransactions in the game, and those microtransactions are not only optional. I mean, of course, you have to approve your credit card, but they are completely unnecessary. They were just like you could play the game and become incredibly overpowered without paying for anything in that game. I would know. But then Square Enix was like, but what if you could buy experience points? What if you could start with a better gun? Like they would just put these arbitrary like ideas into the game while being also weirdly supportive of the creative choices of the studio.
What did Ubisoft call those lifesavers? Like you get experience?
Time savers, yeah.
Or time savers, there you go, time savers. Because I remember like in Assassin's Creed, like when I checked the store, like time savers or fucking XP boosts or whatever. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You intentionally made it grindy, shit like that.
Yeah. Like, I will admit that while I stand and defend Assassin's Creed Odyssey, no, that it's totally obvious that game is incredibly oversized and
Even Far Cry. At least
yeah, yeah, such that it sort of really tempts you and invites you to spend more to just get through the grind. Fortunately for me, like I find the core gameplay loops of Assassin's Creed Odyssey enjoyable on its own terms. But for those people who are just like, I just want to finish the main campaign, I just want to finish the story and get through it, being forced to endure all that grind was really intolerable.
No, the grind's okay. The only problem, I know we're going off tangent, but the grind's okay. The only problem with, for example, Odyssey is the fact that like certain locations are gated, so you have to grind. You're forced.
Yeah.
Not like where I think in other games like in Sky, it's like the game level scales with you.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, with Skyrim and Fallout or whatever Bethesda games.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
everything levels up with you. So while there is,
you can do whatever. You
can grind, but you're grinding for your own self. You're not grinding to meet a requirement. You know, what I want to close on Hitman. What I want to close on, so that we can move on to the next topic, is I call it the kill the rich simulator, and it's a very timely game. I think for in an age of late stage capitalism and all that stuff, because what's interesting to me about the game is how a lot of it is spent disguising yourself as the help, as the you disguise yourself as a janitor or whatever.
Okay,
right. And many of your targets are people who have embezzled money from poor governments, who have covered up murders, people who are responsible for unleashing bioweapons or fueling using cocaine to fuel a revolution or a war or all that stuff. Like lots of like intense, like ripped from the headlines, political, bunch of people with too much money starting shit kind of situation, right? And
it kind of makes sense though.
Yeah, I mean, those are the targets you'd want. Like, if you watch any assassin film.
No, but like it's like Agent 47 will definitely have to do those high target.
Yeah.
If it has to take care of a janitor in a high school, I don't think you need Hitman. I don't think you need Agent 47 for that.
What's central to my thesis as Hitman, as Kill the Rich Simulator, is that what's so interesting is what really gets these targets, what really does them in when you kill them, is their attitude towards the people around them. Like, they are unable to recognize the personhood of those who are around them, such that they don't even take them seriously as threats. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like powerful rich people tend to dehumanize the people around them who they perceive as their lessers and therefore do not take seriously. So they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm not worried about this mechanic sabotaging my race car. I'm not worried about, this guy in a lab coat, even though he might rig an image recognition system to make drones kill me. Like all that stuff.
You'd think after how many years of Agent 47 being like in the field, they would just be worried about bald guy from now on. Jesus Christ. He's never changed this. Like, I don't remember a Hitman having like, you can put a wig or something. No, the guy changes the costume, but he will always be bald.
With his barcode exposed.
Yeah.
His barcode's always exposed. I'm like, God damn it. Like, world.
Somebody in IGN pointed out that, an old video I saw from IGN was like, in the universe of Hitman, there are a lot of bald people. So,
right.
There's like,
well, that's the reason.
That's the reason. So there's a drummer who's in town to like fill in for the other drummer who quit, and so like Agent 47 will be like, well, your handler will be like, well, you can impersonate that drummer because he's bald and looks like you, or you'll be in Paris at a fashion show, and you're like, well, the great supermodel Helmut Kruger is on his way. And he looks just like you, Agent 47. You just have to put on like the trademark makeup that Helmut Kruger wears in order to like fool everyone around you. Like there's just
the contracts given to to Agent 47 are those that have bald.
Bald
people.
That makes it easier.
If you're
canon.
If you're rich, powerful, and up to some shit, be wary of keeping bald friends and bald colleagues around you. You should just get rid of them because Agent 47 might impersonate.
They could replace them right away.
Especially if they're Caucasian.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just mandate. All right, you there, my lawyer. You're bald. I don't like that. Grow your hair. Stop
That'd be
shaving.
nice, but like Enrique, the only bald Mexican, becomes white all of a sudden.
Eh.
The white Mexican waiter. Well, that's pretty cool. Hitman. This is the one game though that I try so hard to get into. I don't know. I keep failing to really like get myself into. I haven't really. I think I only finished Absolution simply because it's just like on the rails.
Yeah, it's
All
on the
the
rails.
games pa naman.
The one
Yeah.
Solution.
I hear the game.
I know.
I hear the game is widely derided among fans of the series. Maybe you guys can enlighten me on that one as to why, because I have it, but I haven't.
It's not hit. I like to think it's because it's not Hitman.
It's
That's
not.
how you're experiencing
It's
it.
really not.
It's also like it's like a Splinter
What?
Cell or
Right.
an Uncharted on the rails adventure game.
Yeah, with
where,
the
like,
occasional
Hitman's on the
Hitman
road.
level along the way.
Yeah, it's not a sandbox for what you're experiencing in the new
Right.
one. Because that's Hitman. Absolution. They try to do that third person shooter with more stealth aspects. and
Yeah,
that's
with
what I got
like
into for fuck's sakes.
a story that goes on throughout the game.
Yeah, like I think Hitman, Agent 47 is trying to get out of the gig, something like that.
Yeah, because like he gets
The-
framed
the-
for like the murder of his operator, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's
something
on the
like that.
run.
Hitman 2, this one's like what? I got job. I do job. That's pretty much it.
Find
Yeah,
50
but-
million ways to kill the same guy.
For me,
Yeah.
like Hitman Absolution, the only thing I know about that game is that there are a shit ton of like semi-famous character actors in that
Sean
game.
Bean.
Was
Sean
there?
Bean. Oh, it's not Sammy.
No. Sean Bean wasn't in Absolution.
Ah, sorry. I was talking about Hitman 1. Yeah. No, sorry.
So like Tracy Lords, the former porn star. Is she a former porn star? I forget. Tracy Lords, Keith
I don't
Carradine, Powers Booth, and Shannon Sossman. They're all in the game.
They all sound like porn star names.
Yeah, they do actually, right? Even Powers Booth sounds like a porn star. God bless that character actor.
Are they all bald as well?
I don't know.
And then with Hitman, like you're doing Hitman 2, we have like Hitman 3 coming out next year, and I think it should be the same as what Hitman 2 is all about. So it's just
But
going
they
to be
promised-
next gen,
They promise a darker world, whatever that means. But
whatever that means.
well, honestly, I look forward to a future. I was telling my partner this. I was telling them like I look forward to a future in culture wherein genderqueer and non-binary and trans folk are more embraced, such that Hitman will start. Agent 47 will be allowed to don the disguises of
Yeah.
of other femme and non-binary
And
characters. Like,
still be
Oh my
bald.
god.
yeah.
It's
'Cause
bald.
I was really frustrated because I'd see a hotel maid and I'm like, if only I could
I
impersonate.
want to wear that dress.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Possible. Is it- I don't
You know,
remember having that.
47
Okay.
47 should be free to wear the disguises he wants to wear.
Oh, it's just a job to him, the money. He wouldn't care.
Yeah, he wouldn't care. Have you seen the guy smile? No. He's okay with his job. But anyway, Hitman 2, that's pretty cool. Moving on, I was fortunate enough to play the beta. I think it's still on actually, as of this recording. The beta of Mortal Shell, an indie game that's pretty much an action RPG. It's pretty much a Souls-like game. Straight up from atmosphere all the way to gameplay, it's pretty much Souls. But it has a lot of like really cool and unique gimmicks that makes it like its own thing. Like your character actually has to like inhabit a specific shell. That's why it's called Mortal Shell. Like I don't see any inventory system for one. Like you have to inhabit like, oh, this guy with armor, and then you inherit his stats or his durability. Like you'll have that shell will be balanced in life and stamina and whatever, and then that other shell is like all stamina but low life, stuff like that. So what's cool about it is if you get hit and you lose your life, you get detached away from your shell, and you have to go back to that shell again. So they have those cool elements to it, and I'm pretty digging it right now so far. Well, that's about it, really. I mean, it's really like what, like 20 minutes? Just 20 minutes. No, because there's nothing else. Like it's really cool, like mechanics. Like it has really cool mechanics, and it was like what 20 minutes of my time. It's a beta, and there's like a boss towards the end, and I was able to only like play around with. There's only like 2 shells available, and there's no blocking. There's a lot of dodging happening, and the only sense of blocking is like I have to like I can harden myself. I can press control to harden myself, and I have to time it when they swing at me so that they can like they can actually get off balance.
Okay, so what game can you closely compare this to, just so we have a better picture?
No, it's Souls. It's like
Straight up
how the
Souls?
characters move. Straight up Souls. How it moves.
Okay.
And how vague the fucking storytelling is. Like you don't know. They're talking.
Shall we take a drink every time we say Souls now?
Like it's Dark Souls.
Does it have like a stamina gauge?
Yeah, they have a stamina gauge.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And
Oh my god.
I don't see an inventory system though. That's like I said. Like I can't like take out the armor or anything. I have to like whatever that shell has. That's his weapon. That's his gear. That's his stats. And then I have to pick what weapon I have in like that home spot I have in Mortal Shell. So there are some changes to it, but if you look at it from afar, you just might think it's a Dark Souls game. Like this is the most like easily like Dark Souls clone-ish.
Okay, like straight up medieval stuff.
Yeah, like it's like you can tell like Neo can be its own thing because of how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to see the gameplay to see it's a Souls game because of how it plays. Its setting and everything can actually set itself apart. This one, it's bleak, it's dark. I can't understand even though they're talking like what's going on. The descriptions do not tell you exactly what that thing does. It's very vague again. Which is kind of interesting because the items, they have a familiarity bar, and supposedly if you consume more of that item and if you fill up that familiarity bar, you'll find more details about that item. So you have to like. It seems like you're forced to experiment. Like this mushroom, it will poison you, but if you take it 6 more times, you might know more about it. Apparently.
So each time you eat the mushroom tells you something about itself.
When you hit like if you like it, in the descriptions, if you've eaten this 6 more times, you'll find more description about the item.
So it's like you're learning about it, but
something like that. Yeah,
like it's a bad thing for you each time.
A bad thing or a good thing. Like even like the healing thing, like the healing item. If I take more of it, I suppose I'll learn more about that healing item.
Okay, so you learn through usage.
Yeah, constant usage. That's another
sort of
cute, added thing in the Souls game. But aside from those little gimmicks or added unique concepts, it's probably, if you guys want or looking forward to a Souls game, because I don't think From Software is planning for another Souls game anytime soon, unless they want to do Bloodborne.
But they're working on they're working on the next front mission, so that's not going to happen.
That's not. Either of those things are not going to happen, sadly.
No, what are you talking about? It's totally going to happen.
Are you joking or not? Because I'm a huge fan of Front Mission.
Well, if you believe in it, it will happen, right? So I'm just going.
Anyway,
Front Mission and not Armored Core.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What?
It's Armored Core, not Front Mission. You bamboozled me.
By the way, I'm a fake gamer.
I mean, it's cool if they work on a new Front Mission because the world. Because
when you're saying Front Mission,
yeah,
I was actually thinking for Armored Core, and then I realized when Miggy said it that you're talking about Armored Core.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm so sorry, guys.
No, we're both. Yeah, this is part of the podcast episode. It's fine. No, but yeah, this is the great. Like, if you're looking for a Souls game, this is like the best thing. At least that's closely identical to is that I don't remember an online functionality, like an online version of like how Souls like can communicate with other players. I don't remember seeing anything like that. But aside from that, it's punishing, it's painful, and it's definitely something to look forward to. Like I know Mickey, you've had your taste of Souls. Like you played Dark Souls recently as well. I don't think you continued after that, but yeah, it can be punishing. And it's just funny about how this beta came to be because it's supposed to be given to those that were like interested in playing beta. Like you'll get keys through email or social media.
Oh, cool.
But I think the developers had a huge demand. They just said fuck it. They opened it Everybody can just play it.
That's neat.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah, like
Is it on
like
Steam?
over Epic Game Store.
Oof.
It's an exclusive shit. It's
Oh,
another
really?
exclusive
Oh, that's
thing.
why I couldn't find it on Steam.
It's gonna be available on Steam, but I think it's one of the, I have to double check. I think it's one of those like time exclusives once again.
Oh, there's timed exclusives for PC games now too, huh?
Yeah. I mean, that's
Epic
the
Game
whole
Store.
that's the whole deal that Epic Games has been doing with most of their exclusives, which is like, it's not 100% exclusive. It's just kind of like,
It's just the other side.
yeah, the launch
It's the other
the
house.
launch window, a 9 month launch window with them.
Yeah, like that's what happened to Borderlands.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened also to the Shark Week game. I mean,
yeah, Maneater.
Maneater. No, but that's about it. But the reason why I want to mention is one, it's as much as the Dark Souls clone, it's actually the next big, like the best kind that you should look forward to if this is the kind of like this is your jam, and that it's not every no, and that's about it really. It's actually pretty cool. I just don't know when this is gonna be fully out because it's still just late 2020, probably not. There's no actual release date, and I'm surprised that it's actually just working as intended. Because I know this is a very small studio working on this, and hopefully I'll see more of it in the future. And yeah, that's Mortal Shell. This weekend, Ubisoft Forward is the next streaming platform or digital conference, since we don't have E3 thanks to what's happening over in the world right now, or any other conference. We had that Sony video presentation.
Well, the
Ubisoft's
world
gonna have something similar.
I don't want to get too deep into this, but I think allow me to editorialize. I think the world is better, without E3. Because when Samson and I went there last year, it was really disappointing.
Yeah, even I didn't go. I just
So
sent
much
you guys.
footwork
Anyway,
going to each, wing of the LA Convention Center.
I know.
no, wait, okay.
My calves.
Before we somewhat tackle Ubisoft Forward, just since you mentioned it, let's just play around with the fact that maybe we do not ever go to E3 ever again, because it never happens. Like, they don't do E3 anymore, like in the conference. Do you think we just missed out overall? Because we haven't actually went to that kind of. We've had our own conventions here in Southeast Asia, but the big one, we kind of missed.
I kind of want to hear
Is that a missed opportunity?
I kind of want to hear what Mendoza has to say about it. But personally, I'm a lazy bastard, and I also think that sometimes look, I'm not a 100% shut-in introvert necessarily speaking, but at the same time, I do feel like the efficacy of attending live events isn't necessarily worth the hassle and the energy that comes with it. You know what I mean? So, I don't think we missed out. The idea of having to walk around the LA Convention Center, and line up for demos and previews of games which we will, get to play 2 months or 3 months or a year or two later, amidst a noisy environment filled with, sweat, other people, virus, disease, whatever. It's just, you know what I mean? I've been to other conventions that are not gaming related before that, that I did not exactly have 100% a great time in, and I don't even know if video games would improve that necessarily.
Well, I just want to experience it one time. That's my thing. I
Yeah.
get that it's tiring. I get that it's the cons and what we have to do to get what we need, or get
Yeah.
the best out of that event.
Yeah.
That's just my thing. If I just had I might just feel that is a missed opportunity. But that's if I didn't have what we had here, with
Yeah.
ESGS and all that, because I did feel the whole tiresome thing. So I would have felt like I missed it out if I didn't have ESGS or any other convention. But since that's a possibility, at least here, closer, or even go to Japan or something, not so much.
Yeah, I'd be
And-
more interested in going to something like Gamescom or the Penny Arcade Expo, because those are those
I think
those
isn't
are
it more tiring. That's a lot more public. That's,
Yeah, but there's more-
There's stampedes.
but there's more consumer facing, stuff there. It's not a trade show. It's a fan community when it comes to Gamescom and Penny Arcade.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so I heard that from all those gaming sites that do cover E3, and especially for like one of the people who has been to nearly every E3, Jeff, the Gerst man, from the Giant Bomb.
Yeah.
He always says that he hates going to E3. That's why they stopped doing it. At the very least, they stopped covering the show floor.
Yeah.
They just have an active podcast instead.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard is that, like, especially like from what I want to do is the same with Carlos, where I want to at least go to it once.
Yeah.
To see.
Yeah.
If you go there...
no, like, for sure, probably if we actually go there, it's not going to be any fun. It's just going to be, like, tiresome work. And given how large LAX is, I've been to LAX itself, not for E3, but I've been to that place. And when they say that it's like a 30-minute walk, they mean it. That thing is, like, absolutely huge. If you go, like, wing to wing and all that. But, like... just to be able to tell people that, we've been to E3, at least once would be something under your belt.
Yeah, it feels like a bucket list item, so to speak. Or,
exactly.
something you can check off the sort of like...
Right.
Like, I don't mean to be super weird about this, but as you guys know, I like playing games that I don't necessarily have 100% of a great time or 100% approve of, because I like having the satisfying my intellectual curiosity with these kinds of things, so that I can speak authoritatively about them or speak at least credibly about them. And it's the same thing with E3. Like, I don't want to like... I want to be able to have one E3 under my belt so that I can actually just say, like, speak to some degree of credibility when we talk about ideas like events and the wild world of games marketing and promotion.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like I said, from what I've heard from the many gaming podcasts I've listened to, like, especially from podcasts of people who come from the more consumer end of things.
Yeah.
They say that E3 is nice to go to, but they never want to go back.
Yeah.
But PAX is the fun one.
Yeah.
So it usually ends up where, like, they've been to at least one or two E3 and they're good, but like any form of PAX is either one, either anything that they can like have immediate access to. Sometimes they even fly out to the ones that they can't just go to easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, PAX is like Matthew said, it's the more consumer grade version of this. Thus, it being more fun for people who aren't straight up like in it for the journalism only.
Yeah, and not to be pedantic, but thank you for your point, Miguel. Like, not to be pedantic about it, it's not just consumer facing; it's fan facing. Because consumer, I feel like it's very commerce, it's very like impersonal relationship. It's about like selling the product to the consumers, whereas fan facing is basically, all right, we're holding PAX. We're gonna have a tabletop section here. We're gonna have some indie video games here. Everybody, let's have fun. Like, how can we accommodate your kind of fun? There's a cosplay competition in this wing. Like it's about
ESGS really.
It's about the show trying to be entertaining to the people who go there. Not just to be a vessel of information that will end up just being reblogged down back home.
Right.
And then I don't like Tokyo Game Show is what more in line with the fan, right? Or more on E3. That not quite sure.
I want to check out at the very least the small bits I've seen of TGS, especially since we have friends who have gone to that and then covered it. They say that just because of the scale of it is significantly smaller, it's not nearly as troublesome as E3. And while it's not like as fan appealing or consumer grade, it definitely is not as like heavy business as E3.
Yeah.
So they do have booths because like I believe that TGS for the later parts of that weekend, it's open to the public.
Right.
So like the first few days will be for media only, but then the last two will be open to the public. And they close relatively early, so like I don't think it's as stressful as E3 again.
Yeah, because there's not this by closing early, by having finite hours. There's not this relentless pressure there's not this relentless pressure on games media to constantly stay on top of things and be afraid that you're going to miss something, that you're going to miss something worth reporting or worth talking about, or that could draw traffic to your site.
Right. So I guess the best way to describe TGS is it's the more consumer grade version of like a trade
Right.
show, since they have to appeal to all the people coming in that are just in it to buy games. So they have to sell out in that regard.
Yeah,
so
TGS is still one of my bucket lists. I really want to visit TGS, and
E3 is the AAA video game show of video game shows.
No,
You know what I mean?
but
it's trying to appeal to so many people. It's this giant, unwieldy, cumbersome, gorilla that that screams and yells at you to get your attention and sell you everything and make you on board with the experience right now.
yeah, but the experience right now is like how it's different already.
Yeah,
and we've talked about this before in previous episodes, but thanks to the pandemic and what's going on, we are going to be taking in the news in a different aspect, and we've done it with Sony. They've done that with Sony and other live streams and everything. Everybody's doing their own thing, and Ubisoft is next this weekend.
Yeah,
and I don't know. So far, we're in July. I'm okay with this. This spread. A few weeks ago, it's all EA.
Yeah.
After a week of that, we have Cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah,
a month ago it was Sony.
Right.
And this weekend it's Ubisoft.
Definitely easier to digest all of these news bits because they're not coming out at the same time.
Yeah, in years past, you, me, Mickey, we would all stay up late trying to jot everything down just through live stream and
then the question was, are you gonna stay up for the next one?
yeah, because it's not our time zone. At least the Americans have the privilege of it existing on their time zone.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, Ubisoft Forward this weekend. Most of the heavy hitters are gonna happen in that event, or in that presentation. I don't know, as we were doing this recording, I'm just trying to figure out what exactly is I'm really excited for, and probably the most is is the next Assassin's Creed, which is the Vikings one, Valhalla, and hopefully something new that will I don't care if it's fake in terms of gameplay. It's just a really cool concept that's just really out there. No, when they announced Watch Dogs, that felt like it was out there. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let me help you with this one.
A new IP.
I think new IPs are desirable. The thing is, we don't have any it's very hard to predict and anticipate what's going to happen with any publisher as regards to new IP, because if it's new IP, that means we never heard of it. But what I do
I know that, but I'm just talking about the concept.
Yeah.
Whatever they're gonna call it, if it's a cool concept that just is out there, it's something that I didn't expect Ubisoft would do, that'd be cool. Same with For Honor. I didn't expect them to do that kind of online competitive melee focused combat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
I haven't seen that in a while.
We were surprised. We were surprised by Hyperscape, for crying out loud.
I have yet to read about that. That's a new game that just came out. No, that was announced last week, and that's Ubisoft's take on Battle Royale, a first-person shooter with hacking, and hacking's their thing. But the tech demos, the tech beta, is happening on around. It's available on Twitch, and that's pretty cool. But in terms of what to expect from Ubisoft, that's what I'm in, and maybe probably something Sam Fisher related.
Yeah, okay. I want to get into that. So I want to talk about the stuff that we know, but let's start with this, which is I feel let's talk about Assassin's Creed. Let's talk about Watch Dogs Legion. Let's talk about all of that stuff towards the end of this episode. But what I want to talk about right now is I want to see an appearance from Skull and Bones. I don't know where that game is right now. Skull and Bones, the sort of multiplayer pirate simulator kind of game, sort of
right.
I forgot about that.
The other Sea of Thieves.
Exactly.
The other Sea of Thieves. I forgot that existed. You're right. Actually, I think I'm really for someone who actually been checking out the game news and being updated in the industry, I forgot what Ubisoft is offering. There's actually a lot.
Skull and Bones is basically the sea missions from Assassin's Creed Black Flag without Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Right.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
And then what else do we have? We actually have For Good and Evil. I mean, sequel. I mean,
so that's another thing I want to ask about. Beyond Good and Evil, where are we with that right now? Because
they've been silent for 2 years.
I know, right? Like first, the whole running joke was that the running joke among the games media was that they told us Beyond Good and Evil 2 existed, but Ubisoft would say things like, oh, eventually, like Yves Guillemot will even say things like, if Far Cry doesn't sell well, we won't be able to do Beyond Good and Evil. And I'm just like, whatever,
Right,
what kind
I
of
remember.
fucking blackmail is this?
This is Ubisoft's Final Fantasy VII remake. I
Yeah,
like to think.
yeah. And
Like we don't know what's gonna happen.
I think that's a really great analogy, Carlos. It is their Final Fantasy VII remake, and then now that Beyond Good and Evil 2 was actually formally announced, and we got real gameplay and real technology, demos and concrete announcements of like how the art assets are being produced. It's been radio silent, so now we're just back to square one in an information vacuum.
Yep.
So I don't know. what's
Pressure's
going
on too, because FF7 remake actually came out.
Yeah, I know, right?
I want to know, like, we'll talk about it later on, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I want to like expand it a bit, but
The last thing I want to talk about is what you mentioned earlier, Carlos, the Sam Fisher game, because I love Splinter Cell. That's pretty much all I've got. I want more Splinter Cell.
I think the only thing I know about Splinter Cell, which I think, like I do want more. I do want some new entry in the Splinter Cell series, but the only thing I've heard was we just might get an operator for Rainbow Six Siege that is in the same group. That's it.
Oh, so
like a 6 echelon agent.
by the
and
way,
I'm like,
it's third echelon or fourth.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, or
but yeah,
or fourth echelon if you're going by Splinter Cell Blacklist.
I forgot about that. But you know what I mean? That group, right? Like with the goggles, that kind of costume. That's the only information I have that we would get something Splinter Cell ish.
We can do a whole episode. We can do a whole episode deconstructing the complex, dense, and sprawling mythology of the Splinter Cell universe with me. But
That's all you, man, because I just said 6 echelon. I don't know shit.
and yeah,
I completely forgot about it.
so those three games. But let's talk about your thoughts on the things that we do know about, which is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the inevitable Far Cry 6, and Watch Dogs Legion.
Valhalla, I guess I'm excited for it because I got excited, or I got some fun out of like the last 2 games. I did play Origins. I got tired out eventually, but that's because I kind of played what's the game before Origin? I even forgot its name already.
You played Syndicate.
I from start to finish, and I went straight to Origins, so I got tired out eventually. But I did have fun.
You mean you decided to play 100 hours worth of Assassin's Creed open world adventure back to back, and you got tired of it? How could that possibly happen?
Yeah, I get tired.
You got to get a
played
palate
too much.
cleanser.
I mean, how else you want me to expand on that? Yeah, I played Syndicate, I played Origins, and I got tired. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just got tired. But playing those 2 games made me excited for Valhalla because I kind of like the transition of where they're at now, moving from what they were when they were in Syndicate, and now more open world with more RPG elements and all that, and then further going in Odyssey, same shit, same gameplay, more expanded, more depth. And then I want to see more if they actually either change it completely or, put more depth into Valhalla. So yeah. I'm definitely excited for that.
I mean, honestly,
I just don't know if it's going to be good though. That's the thing. Like,
well,
I don't know how dense it's going to be to the point that I'll be bored. Like, I don't want to do all these open world stuff anymore. That's the big question, at least for Valhalla. Like, will the open world be too much to a point that I might just stop.
Well,
like
Ubisoft has been back and forth about this. When they first announced the game, they said it's gonna be bigger than Odyssey, and then everybody was like, "No, not as big as Odyssey." And now they issued a statement saying, "No, it's gonna be smaller and more condensed."
Because Odyssey and even Origins is actually pretty huge.
Yeah, but yeah. No. Have you seen like they 30 minutes of gameplay footage was leaked of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's out there on the YouTubes.
I'm probably gonna wait for that because that's probably them preparing for the fucking weekend. So I'm not that rushed into getting
That's
it.
true.
But yeah, there was a leak on that one. When I heard that, like, obviously it's out because they're preparing that shit. Legion, Watch Dogs Legion. I just realized that Legion is a thing like an hour ago or 2 hours ago. I don't know. I don't like. No, seriously, when we were talking about Ubisoft Forward, like, oh nga, no, that is the thing. I don't, so I'm not that excited about Legion. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'm not excited right now. Like right now, I'm not excited, but I super stand the Watch Dogs franchise. You all know that from listening to this podcast. So I'm crossing my fingers because I want to be excited. I want them to show me something that will get me completely jazzed. But I'm not sure if post-Brexit cyberpunk London, with this high concept.
That is cyberpunk, yeah.
Yeah, with this high concept, no protagonist, everybody is a revolutionary in the cyber war or something like that. Like, not sure if I'm on board in that, but maybe I want to be proven wrong.
No, but like it'll be pretty wild. Like,
yeah,
if they talk about Legion, they talk about Valhalla, and let's just assume that they announce another Far Cry game. That's like 3 fucking open world games to be on offer. Like, if like Valhalla is just as dense as like other games, and then Watch Dogs is just as big as Watch Dogs 2, Far Cry 6. Oh god.
Well, Far Cry 6. Did you hear the rumor? Is that Giancarlo Esposito? From Breaking Bad. Sorry, from Better Call Saul. Yeah, from Better Call Saul, and a whole bunch of other stuff. The Mandalorian, renowned character actor. He is supposedly going to be playing the villain in Far Cry 6.
That's
cool.
Like
that. That's actually
the Chicken Man.
Yeah, not confirmed, but I like that. I love to Esposito. He this wouldn't be his first time in a video game, by the way. He appears in Payday 2: The Heist as the dentist. This guy who runs.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Who runs a dental?
That's a cool. Like at least, yeah. That's actually in line to what makes Far Cry at least now interesting.
Yeah,
because they have really really cool villains. Yeah. All the way since I think 3. Since
I'm not 100%.
I like Vaz,
but it's a great brand distinguisher. You know what I mean? Like I like.
No, that's more of a better way of saying it. Yeah.
I love the fact that every time we look forward to the new Far Cry game, like it's hit or miss with us narrative wise, but it's still exciting to think about what they might do next with regards to having crazy out there, characters and villains. I mean, yeah. I mean,
I just hope they just bring in back rusty guns.
Yeah, I just want Giancarlo Esposito to in his hyper realistic CG face to just look at me on the camera and tell me, like, why are you so violent? You're so bad, using guns.
But what else we have with Ubisoft Forward?
I think that's about it. I mean, everything else is like updates to existing services and franchises. We're going to hear more about Rainbow Six, The Siege updates, Division updates.
I hope they don't. Yeah, I hope. Division and Siege, I hope they don't, because that's just running on their own. That's in cruise control. They're okay. They're doing their own thing already. I don't see a point. Like, I don't know how much more players they need to get.
Well, it's part of the
market. Knows that too.
It's part of the conventional marketing strategy. We're gonna get an update. It might just be only 5% of the show, but it's still gonna happen. We're gonna get some news about those games, including For Honor and and Just Dance and all that stuff. We're gonna get updates.
Oh yeah, For Honor, that's still a thing, and also Just Dance.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And I think the thing that we all agree that we don't want to hear about is Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
More than Just Dance?
Yes,
that's true. No, Ghost Recon. That is. Yeah, that franchise has to be quiet again. I think that has to keep quiet.
But the one I'm very intrigued about that we don't have any information about is I need to know about what's going to happen with Rainbow Six Quarantine, the game that they announced at last E3 that seemed pretty cool.
I'm not that excited about that. From what I'm assuming it's pretty much using the Siege engine, and then they did years ago a co-op version of 6, and I think that's where the idea came from, because there was an event in Rainbow Six Siege where it's like a 4-player co-op, and you have to go through like a gauntlet of like extracting a specific doctor through infected people or monsters.
Yeah,
it was weird, but I think that's where the idea came from, and that might be the same idea but more fleshed out, I think. So I'm not we'll see. I don't know.
I'm just perversely interested to see how Ubisoft is going to flex a game called Quarantine in a post-pandemic environment. That's what I want to
Oh
see.
shit, you're right. Shit,
Good-
you're right. Okay,
good luck.
now I get your point.
Good
Might
luck,
make it
Ubi.
better.
problem.
You never know.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Imagine in the video they come back when they start talking about quarantine with their masks on.
They need to get Neil Druckmann to flex that game for them to be like, oh, it depicts a quarantine. That's why it's very resonant with today's times.
Oh my god. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah, with Ubisoft Forward, and that's it for 208. I think. Yeah, that's it for 208. We have an episode every week of the TMG podcast, so do check them out at Spotify and Apple Podcasts or any actual platform where you get your podcasts. We do want to hear your thoughts, opinions, and what we've discussed in this episode. So do email us at www.toomuchgaming. Oh, sorry, that's our website. www.toomuchgaming.net is our website, but our contact email is contact@toomuchgaming.net. But yeah, that's about it. If you want more of what we do, all the content we do, everything's available on our website, and we stream most of our games on Twitch and all that jazz. And if you want to yell at Matt for anything, literally anything, what's your tag again?
My Twitter handle
your-
is @ArceliaMatthew. Just tweet at me if you want to yell some video game opinions.
Yeah, in any shape or form. And I think that's about it. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Ta-ta!
Bye.
I want to drink some water.
Yeah, that was a lot of games to talk about. I mean,
That was a lot of Ubi.
yeah,
Ubi. Man, I really want to play as a grandma for the entirety of Watch Dogs 3.
oh yeah, right. That would be great.
I will do my
Oh, I
best
totally-
to keep her alive.
I totally forgot about that. Yes, I do want that. I remember like them saying like, should we show the grandma?
100%
Like, they were actually thinking about
hardcore
it.
grandma, speed run.